Hello, my friend. Welcome to my timeline. I've been thinking a lot about creativity lately. One of the ways that I've been exploring this in my own world is by painting. And I have been painting a mural in my house, something I've wanted to do for a really long time. And I'm not using house paint. I'm just using paint from the dollar store. Just acrylic paint. And I just decided to go in and paint on my wall, my baseboard, a little bit on my ceiling. I don't quite know exactly where this project is going yet, but I'm going through all of the stages of creativity that I've uh, learned to, at least what I've understood about creativity so far. I'm definitely not a trained artist, but it's something that I've been exploring for a few years on and off. And I'm currently at that stage where I just keep feeling like I am ruining it. I just keep going over parts and I don't really know where to go. The cool thing about acrylic paint is that you can just paint over it. So that's typically how I work. I just like do a layer and then I do an entire different layer and then I try to build on that layer and then I just paint over it and I just keep going and going and going. And eventually, it usually turns out, but I've definitely gotten to the point where I've just thrown away a project. But this one I can't quite throw away because it's on my wall. So I don't really feel like fully covering it with white. I want to see it through. And so I'm doing this landscape. And I have mountains and some grass. I have some trees through the center. I've played with clouds. I'm playing with a river. And right now I'm just trying to figure out the shape of the mountain and how I want the colors to be. And I just keep staring at it and painting over things, and it feels like I'm not making any progress. And so I just had to step back, and my intuition said, go record a video. So that's why I'm here. It's the middle of the day. I typically record these at night, but I was called to doing this. And a little bit of paint on my fingers. I'm just wondering if anyone else has gone through this process with their own creative endeavors. You know, these stages. Oh yes, I was going to say, there's the stage of like the initial excitement and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing." And you think about it and you pour your heart into it. And then, it goes through the stages of, okay, you're working on it, things are feeling good. And then you kind of hit a snag and you lose a little bit of confidence and you start realizing that it's harder than you thought and you don't really know where it's going. And you keep going and then you feel like you mess it up and you have to remind yourself, just keep trusting the process. And that's what I was reminding myself today is just keep trusting the process. I'm not super happy with where I left it, but I just get to go back to it whenever I get inspired to, knowing that there's nothing to mess up, just simply is art. I'm so happy to be doing it though. For so long, I felt like I didn't have any creative outlets. I'm not a particularly talented, I shouldn't even say that. I'm not developed. I haven't put the hours into developing my skills. And, even the most naturally talented people, they still have to put in the work. You still have to show up every day. And I'm always trying to remind myself that with everything in life, I mean, I truly believe that everything in this world can be creative. You're cooking a meal, that's creativity. You're painting, you're journaling, creativity. even the way that you just go about your world in your day. I mean, there's little ways to make things feel special, and that's utilizing your presence in order to make something shine, make something be a little bit brighter in your world. And as far as I'm concerned, that's putting a creative spin on it. Are you working on anything right now? Are you painting or drawing? Are you writing? Do you arrange flowers? Do you play with clay? Yarn? Do you crochet? What do you do? I hope you're having a good day. I'm feeling a little sensitive. I'm feeling a little sensitive. Um, and I'm sitting here being like, do we want to open what feels like a big can of worms? Because I'm really trying to be a light and be positive and recognize, which I do, but recognize that these moments are just simply opportunities to be present with what's happening within ourselves. But there is something to be said about talking things into existence. I'm feeling a lot of pressure and tension through my jaw and my neck, and I've noticed that the last few days. You know, and I've fallen back on some of my practices. Someone, oh, I'm so sorry. Was it Robert? I think it might have been Robert. Robert made a comment the other day and was like, what do you do when you have these moments?" And you know, I believe that we have so many tools at our disposal. But the first one is simply, in my opinion, being aware enough that you're going through something. And that can be the hardest step. Just like just pausing for a moment and recognizing that you're feeling a certain way. You're having a big bout of emotion, or you're just feeling not quite right and you can't quite put your finger on it, but like taking that pause and just doing a body scan. That's a great tool. And that's how I recognize, like, wow, I'm feeling a lot of tension in this specific area of my body. And many times that can indicate something. And there's like, what I would say is like standard. I don't like, that's not what I mean. Certain things get stored, certain emotions get stored in the body. And for a lot of people, certain emotions get stored in the same parts of the body and can come up when you're feeling that kind of way. Poorly phrased, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. In like traditional Chinese medicine and in, oh, I think I hear Jacob up. Well, we won't go into traditional Chinese medicine because I am not fully versed in that anyway. So if you're interested, I highly recommend checking it out. There's the like meridian lines and, you know, different fascial lines hold things, and it's just super fascinating. So maybe that's someone's homework for today. I'm going to go check on him. He just tends to roam around the house when I don't go see him after his naps, which is so cute, but you know, can't let him do that. All right. With that, my friends, have a beautiful day. Take good care of your hearts, and I'll see you tomorrow.